What a week, eh? Captain, it's only Wednesday. Welcome back to the Strompcast, episode 276. It has been a week, but before we get into it, let me introduce you to my co-host. As always, we've got the main man, Richard. How are you doing today, man?
I'm all right. S tier reference, by the way, for anybody who knows. That's a great meme reference. It's been a week. If you're a Portuguese, this week is kind of low-key stunk. But I'm all right. I'm doing fine. Other than that, it's Wednesday. Fall's in the air in Canada. We can really feel it. So we got a lot. We got a lot to talk about today. I feel like we say that all the time, but there's a lot, like for real this time.
Yeah, facts. And we got Danny. How are you today, man?
Yeah, it's been a tough, long week, but I looked down and the same. This was from a few years ago, but the same is still the truth. The champions are still here. We'll talk about that Porto game in a bit. It's been disastrous since that result, and we'll get into that. But other than that, doing well. Celeste Song at least came at the right time, I guess.
Yeah, it's not a bad time for your international break. I would agree.
Yeah. Rich, who's Nigeria playing, by the way?
They're playing teams. I don't know. I haven't looked.
I just took it you're wearing a Nigerian.
I know.
Unfortunately, Chris couldn't be here today. I'm sure he would have liked to be in, especially with all the news that come out. But he's on the graft. He's on the grind. So shout out to Chris, couldn't make it today. But most importantly, make sure you follow all things Alvalade on all social media and podcast platforms. Now, it is broken in maybe, I want to say, the last hour or so, but there has been some news. First of all, it was said by a recorder around, I believe, maybe lunchtime-ish, that Jeremiah St. Juste would not be a part of the team and he'd be promoted to the B team. At first, there was nothing else on that report. There were some rumors about him rejecting financial offers and other offers to other teams in Spain and Germany due to financials. They didn't agree with him, or he didn't agree with the financials, so he didn't go. And then after that, St. Juste releases quite a lengthy statement on Instagram. And for my audio viewers, I will read it out in order. And quote, "Over the past months, a lot has been written and said about my situation at Sporting. I feel it's time to share my side of the story with full transparency. At the start of the transfer window, I was told by the club I did not need to leave because the coach wanted to count on me this season. But when the season began, I suddenly was not included in the squad. No one, neither staff or management, spoke to me about it. Instead, I was avoided. At the same time, my brothers, who are also my agents, were contacted by the club saying they wanted to sell me due to my contracts." Just to paraphrase the next bit, he said that he had an option to join a top club in Germany after his first season. The Sporting said he wasn't for sale and he never moaned about it. He said that he had quite a few injuries and he wants to give the fans what they're able to deserve. The next slide, he pretty much says the stories in the press saying I rejected a contract for financial reasons is a complete lie, that he already had agreed to move to Germany over a week ago. He then said he finally had his direct talk with the board, and this is my quote again, quote, "I explained there was a real chance now I would stay, especially as my daughter is about to be born here in Lisbon, something that's very important to me. The board understood and said clearly, you have a contract with Sporting, so you can stay if you want. Today, I trained happily with my teammates, but when I got home, I was flooded with messages through the media. I read that I'd been sent to the B team. I found out about this from the newspapers. A little later, my brother was informed by the board, who told him I'd remain in the B team or otherwise look for options in the Middle East. This just after the day they told me that they understood perfectly if I stayed and wanted to focus on the birth of my daughter. Then finally, he says, I respect the coach and the club, and most importantly, the fans. I ask for the same respect in return. I will bend, but never break. Green and white pumps through my veins, so I wear the B team shirt with pride." Jeremiah St. Juste. So, a lot to unpack there. Richard, what are your thoughts on the situation, on the statement? Do you feel like St. Juste is telling the truth? Do you think there's more to the story? What do you think?
I mean, the way this transfer window kind of went, I lean towards believing him. Look, we've given him stick on this show that he's injured a lot and it stinks. He doesn't deserve this treatment if this is all true. Like he's still a valuable part of the squad, I think. Like can still be a decent squad player. And he seems like a good locker room guy in general. Like he seems like someone that people really appear to get along with on the squad. So to treat him like that and kind of banish him to the B team shadow realm it feels unnecessarily harsh, and it's basically like I want to know where the logic pipes in, where this guy's goes from he's a decent squad player, sometimes starter, usual sub, whatever, when he's healthy, to well, we might have a deal for him, so let's see what goes on, to nope, banish to the B team. It just seems unnecessarily harsh. And I mean, we're gonna get more into the transfer window, obviously, but it feels like the house of cards might be falling around some of the hierarchy in this club, if this is what we're seeing. Because it just feels bad. I feel bad for the guy. He wanted to stay. He had, like he said, he had an offer to leave to Germany a year or two ago. The team said he was in their plans. Fair enough. They had sort of offers for him this off season and even leading into the season. Nothing obviously materialized. To just banish a perfectly capable player to the B team like that for what feels like no good reason other than you just feel like it feels icky. It feels yucky. I don't like it. It sucks. I do like St. Juste. I know we give him grief on the show, like I said. It's just because he's hurt sometimes, and he can't help that he's hurt. Like that just happens. That's the game. The game's the game. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I think it sucks.
Yeah, facts. Danny, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I mean, I also don't like it. I've been preaching out here and on Twitter how I didn't want him to go at all with all the rumors of Osasuna, Berlin, etc. Because we're going to need depth. We're already down Diomande. I'm not confident on how Quaresma is going to play on a back four. And then it's also what I was going to say here on Michael's point is I also fear how this is going to affect us long term, because this is now becoming a reoccurring theme of the post-Amorim Sporting, of how we treat players, how we treated Gyökeres's departure, how we treated Harder and his departure, how we're now being sly and how we're going behind St. Juste's back essentially. In terms of this departure here, like you said, he trained with the team, and then he's now receiving news that moving forward he's going to be training with the B team. On Twitter just now, I read that Abala is reporting that that St. Juste isn't telling the entire truth, that he was informed at lunchtime or something that he's now going to be training with the B team. Whether that's true or not, there's three sides.
We're arguing over. They're arguing over semantics. They're arguing over
exactly because at the end of the day,
it's
like, what's the point of him being on the B team regardless? He didn't materialize. He has to fight for his contract, like he mentioned in one of those slides there on Insta, that he wasn't. There was no. I think it was the Osasuna one specifically, that there was no finance. Like the finances weren't met with him in terms of moving to Osasuna, and then so he has to defend his own financial interests the same way the club is always preaching on defending their financial interests. Again, I go back to the Gyökeres's situation. So, there's that there. There was other offers from Germany. The club only accepted Berlin's offer. Berlin then had to sell a player to get St. Juste. They never sold that player. They're not going to get St. Juste. This can't fall on the player. He's going to be here. If this is the case, take the biggest. If you really don't want him around, you take the biggest L and you terminate his contract as it is. You pay him out, and then you see the back of him. But it doesn't make sense to me. And
I feel it's almost worse to send him to the B team shadow realm and more disrespectful than anything.
Exactly, especially on a player who can play center back, can play center back in a 3 or a 2, can play right back. I know we're gonna joke about this in a bit, but we did lose Ishgayu. That's an extra person that we lost in the right back position. St. Juste can play there. St. Juste is but in losing Ishgayu, we lose a locker room guy. St. Juste, it seems like he's been a locker room guy. And again, my main point is, how bad is this going to be in terms of our long-term effects? Because it's now St. Juste. It was Gyökeres. It was Harder. It was Marcus Edwards. It's now starting to become a reoccurring thing that this family club no longer cares about the personal issue, the personnel of this family, if you will. But I mean, if it was more justified, I would make sense. If this was the St. Juste that was still constantly getting injured, all right, like I guess that would make sense. If this is the St. Juste that was out partying or something, if this is the St. Juste of like he's been here for 4 or 5 years and although he's been constantly injured, he doesn't show like he's applying himself in games or in practices or with the fans. Or no, this is the St. Juste that's been injury riddled and we still love him. The team still loves him. The players, the fans. There's a reason to it. It just doesn't. It doesn't make sense to me. Long story short, doesn't make sense to me. Why are we sending him to the B team? They're doing perfectly fine without him, to be quite honest. The B team's killing it right now. So
they're doing bets.
It doesn't make sense. So yeah, that's it, Sam.
Yeah. Before I get on to my thing, so a few players have like the poster Bast, Braganza, Mateus Reis, Diamonde. And looking at it now, you've also got Giovanni Kenda, who's liked it recently, Gonzalo Inacio, and Hidemasa Morita, as well as Conrad Harder, who of course left. So
this is how you lose a locker room. Just saying, this is
going to say. I think the players have picked their side and they're picking St. Juste. I think it all goes down to what you said. He's a locker room guy. He is someone that you could tell the players love and the fans love for that reason. But the players have chosen their side. In terms of the whole scenario, I think I believe St. Juste, but it's important to say that footballers do have their own interest, and he could not be telling the truth. He might be telling the truth.
There's always 3 sides to a story. There's the player side, the team side, and the middle, which is the truth. I will say, based on this board's behavior the last 8 months, I lean a bit towards believing the player a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing a lot to erode a lot of goodwill with fans and players, it seems. Danny, you made a point. Like, it feels like that familia aspect of whatever, it's slowly kind of gone away. And this is kind of another prime time example of that. This is how you lose locker rooms very quickly, by the way. Like, we've seen this movie before, just in a different format. But this is how you start to lose a locker room, is you do something like this. It doesn't take much sometimes.
Agreed. The thing is, for me, so they're annoyed at St. Juste because not his fault. He does speak. There is a fact that he was going to go to Union Berlin, but Union were going to sell Di Liete to Fiorentina. The deal fell through, so St. Juste couldn't move because they didn't need another centre back. That's true. The Osasuna one, I don't know. I don't know what the financial implications of the tax.
I think
stuff.
It says there on the post, if I'm not mistaken.
He says around legal and tax issues, so it's quite vague.
Yeah. So there's something financially there that's
it's not overly specified, obviously, but there was something money-wise.
But even if it's not taxes, even if Osasuna is not offering him the money he wants, at the end of the day, you're on contract. You don't have to accept it.
Yeah,
you're not obligated to say yes. Like you like it's when a team agrees with like a release clause. Like if I triggered Danny Saldana's release clause of 20 million, he doesn't have to sign with.
That's
he doesn't have. Yeah, I know.
That's it. Oh, I thought it was a 60, 80 million, bro.
Sorry, if I agree to Danny Saldana,
I don't have to sign it.
You're not obligated. You're not obligated to say yes to the
his
contract
release clause, and he still didn't go, right? So
yeah, you're not obligated to accept the contract. They've now been able to bypass and negotiate with you directly. That's all.
But for me, for a club who's been boasting about how financially sound they are, they sold Victor Gyökeres, they sold Conrad Harder. Is the 2 million or 3 million you're going to make from Osasuna or Union Berlin that much? St. Juste, I know he's on a high wage for relative to the squad, but there is a salary cap that the team has. There's an
internal cap, yeah.
Yeah, I think Trincão's the highest paid or something like that. So St. Juste is still within that band. I understand if they want him to move on because he's quite high up, but you've made record sales in 4 years back to back. You've made over 100 million this transfer window. You're really trying to save that much, 2-3 million on St. Juste.
It's also like, okay, if you're in nickel and dime over the transfer fee, like, cool. think of the math that's going to work out when the player is no longer there. Like, it still frees up whatever I don't know what his salary is. So, like, are you really going to nickel and dime that much over, like you said, Sam, a couple million? Like, it just doesn't seem worth the headache to do so.
Yeah, and then it's also not worth the headache again on the long-term effects of this, because if tomorrow, who liked that post, by the way? Remind me again. If tomorrow, for example, Diamande tomorrow he sees how St. Juste has been. He sees how a move didn't materialize to Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
In January, if a Nottingham, if an English team comes for Diamande and the club says, no, we want to hold on to you, what's stopping Diamande from saying, no, fuck off. Look at how you treated my teammate in the past. They hit my release clause. I want to go now. I'm not going to stay back.
Yeah.
Who knows? Or even if they now say to Diamande, you know, like next year we won't wait for the release clause. We'll sell you for less. Are we going to believe that? Now we're more inclined to believe that Gyökeres is actually, and his scumbag agent is actually,
might have been telling some truth.
Telling some truth in this situation. So it seems exactly. It seems very irrational, especially from a team that's made so much money, a team that and a president really that brags on top of everything. He brags about that.
Where's all this money besides renovations and a couple trips? Where's all this money gone?
The money was almost going to a Shakhtar Donetsk Brazilian winger.
That screamed
fucking tattoo on his neck. That's where the money was almost going.
I want to die on the hill right now. That screamed panic buy. That because they weren't budging on that number for time, and suddenly they're like, no, we'll give you 40 million. That screamed panic buy to me.
Yeah. Exactly. But and we'll get to the transfer market in a bit, but just on Varandas, it's just like him coming out and now having like the ability, in a sense, to no longer answer questions, to just simply say, the club has never seen this financial returns in the past before, you know, like he has here with the 90 million euros and zero in commission. Let's not forget the predecessor, who fought very hard for that, and then that was all ruined within months of him becoming president. And now again, he's having that sort of take where, you know, let's try to give as little as possible to agents. But the now excuse, and I'm glad he has the excuse because it's brought upon great memories. But the excuse he now has of, but now we're champions. So yeah, the market was really poor for us, but we're champions.
The market was poor because you guys dicked around for 2 months. That's what it was. The market was poor because they dragged their feet on almost every transfer this summer, ingoing and outgoing.
His attitude has just been. It's not. I don't think this will bode well for us in the long term if this continues to go this way.
No.
Yeah, I do want to say that last bit from St. Just is. I think it sums up the man. I will bend another break. Green and white pumps through my veins. I'll wear the B team shirt with pride.
That's super. Yeah. That's professional from him. That's the right attitude to have. But that's super professional from him.
And that's what he's shown in these last few years that he's been with Sporting. To be fair, so
yeah,
100%. So before that, it was actually Frederico Varandas speaking to the media about a lot of things, including the failed transfer of Jota Silva on deadline day.
We got Adrian Silva, boys. We missed the deadline by 1 minute.
By 1 minute, a loan was not. It was agreed. It was sent to FIFA, but it was not sent to the league in time, so the deal fell through. Let's just go through some of the quotes that Varandas had about Jota Silva. Let me share the screen so we can see exactly what he said.
Please. He said a lot today.
He says, and I quote, already close to midnight, 11:20 p.m. on the last day, finally Nottingham agrees to make a loan in our terms. We accepted the loan of 4.5 million euros. By the way, which is crazy for a loan, 4.5 million.
That's a lot. That's transfer fee stuff for a loan. That's crazy.
Plus 2.5 million in wages. We received documentation at 11:45. It's practically impossible to receive the documentation, sign the contract, scan it, upload it to the platform. Our legal department said it will be done.
Well, yeah, if you're using dial-up, it's 2025.
Department said it would be practically impossible. We said we would try. Everything was done in 16 minutes that I never thought was possible. This is where it's so stupid. Yeah. I have to congratulate the legal department. And then we tried and couldn't get Jota. There was no boycott. The coach never wanted Jota under the conditions offered to us until 11:25. So there's no point in creating dramas where there aren't any. Richard, what are your
Blame this
thoughts
on the
this?
coach too.
I have a few things. First of all, it's impossible. It's maybe if you're using dial-up internet or carrier pigeon, it's 2025. It does not take 20 minutes to download a contract, sign it, scan it back onto your computer, and send it over to an office. I don't buy that. Something's amiss here. But besides that, saying there's no boycott, the coach never wanted him under the conditions is bullshit because you guys have been chasing after him for 2.5, 3 months. Since June, we knew that this was a
The
possibility.
first report was June 30th.
Yeah, since June, we've known about this. It is now September 3rd, 2025, the year of our Lord. And you're telling me that this was a coach, this was a guy you didn't want, the coach didn't want? I call immediate BS on that. Yeah, they drag their feet on this. Now, I know that Nottingham's owners can be difficult to negotiate with, but you know what? If you knew they were difficult, and if they were going to dick around, you should have cut contact a month ago and said, nope, if you're going to be like this, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm going to focus on other stuff, which is what they should have done. Yeah. This screams we panicked at the last minute and we screwed up just as much as they screwed up.
The thing is, I think this part of the statement is fine. You know, I understand that things can happen on deadline day. It's not the first time it can happen to, it's not to the last.
Yeah.
But this
it's
part,
it's crazy. It's crazy still to use the excuse of there's no way. There definitely was a way. I feel like you guys didn't care enough on either side to really get it done.
Congratulating the legal department for not doing their job properly.
Yeah, good job on not. If anybody else, like, you do your job that bad, Sam, you get fired.
Exactly. Yeah.
What do you mean? Congratulate them on a job poorly done. What do you mean?
The reason I think this was a panic, because we were there on deadline day. We were linked to that Kevin who was already at Fulham. Apparently, we put the offer in. Again, we don't know what's true or not. But even Fabrizio Romano, who is like, you know, the high standard of transfer, said that Sporting were in for him and that he chose Fulham in the end.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that, to me, it just looks like, we didn't get Kevin. And Kevin, I think, went maybe like 7 p.m. So it was like, okay, all on Jota.
We got to try to get some, but we didn't get we're not getting Jeremiah, so we got to get somebody.
But my issue is, Jeremiah was too expensive, 40 million, agreed. Kevin was, you know, maybe too expensive, 35 million. But if you know these deals weren't going to happen, we should have gone to plan C or D or E or F, because there's going to be loads of players we could get in. But they wasted so much time on Jeremiah, even though Deportivo were like 40 million or nothing. Like, you can offer this, you can offer that. Fine. Even with Nottingham Forest, you say, fair enough, they didn't meet our valuation. If they didn't meet your evaluation, move on. Go to someone else. There is so many wingers that are available in this window. And it just feels like this is just a poor excuse. I understand that things happen on deadline day. We've seen it a billion times. We've seen it, of course, with Adrienne before. These things happen, but this is poor planning. That's why it happens. It doesn't happen for no reason. It happens because you planned poorly. But,
I agree. And just on that too, it's like there's no problem with it being last minute, but I remember even a few weeks ago I asked like, what's going on with the Jota thing while we were still linked with Jeremiah, and you guys quoted a record post that was, you know, we're focusing on Jeremiah or a winger first, and then we're getting Jota. And then for it to all blow up in our face, and now it's only on Jota, it's like maybe we should have been planning.
And then that blew up in their face.
That blew up in our face. Also, why it only has to be one at a time, it doesn't quite make sense to me here. But why we wasted time with Kevin, like Sam mentioned, if he was already at Fulham, whether he gave us a yes or not, that would be a lot of money.
Well,
I'd much rather have spent that on Jeremiah.
There's your point too, Danny. Mm-hmm. Then they magically, it's Ioannidis is linked with us again like 3 weeks ago, and I'm like, where did this come from? I thought we gave up on this guy last year, and then they go and they I think it's an overpay personally for me. Still, but exactly. It just feels like you said, it's poor planning. You guys have both nailed it on the head.
And then we had that Pauk kid. No mentions of it deadline day. To Michael in the chat, bro. It's just incompetence at its finest. It's now we ended up with nobody. There's no I said we need midfielders, not even a link really.
You're telling me they couldn't have gone after Thomas Handel, who just went for a 3+2 from Guimarães?
Yeah,
like Youth International couldn't have
asked for like 50 from us, to be fair.
Yeah, agreed.
But like you didn't think to even like, hey, let's kick tires on this and see. Like, do your job.
Yeah, this guy that's replacing Hugo Viana, his name's like Balmeida or something like that. I forget his name now.
Yeah.
I never would have thought. I tweeted this already, and I'll repeat it here. I never would have thought a few years ago that I would miss Hugo Viana as much as I do.
Yeah.
Even if City don't look that great right now, but the work that they did, clearly it showed, and like the cohesiveness,
it always
the
felt
lack of
organized.
drama really over the last, like during the Mourinho years. I took that for granted. I'm not gonna lie. I thought Sporting was in the right course, but I guess not.
This next period is a big test for Varandas, I think.
Of course,
This is the big make or break test for him, I think, because we're starting to find out who was really the mastermind. Was it Hugo Viana and Ruben Amorim and co, or was Varandas some galaxy brain chess master? And it's looking like I don't think he knows even how to. I don't think he's even in the game. He's playing tic-tac-toe. He's playing the wrong game.
Mind you, I don't necessarily think we've had a poor window either. I think
it's just
and we'll get
I think
into
the
that,
way it fell apart the last week.
There's just a lot of positions still needing to be filled, and our rivals have had also impressive windows. It must also be said, and we're not attacking the Tricampeonato as desperately as obviously there's different financial positions. What I'm about to say here, but if you look at Liverpool in England and how they're doing everything possible to retain their title. Obviously, we're not going to be signing like £100 million players back to back, but
not.
But there's a sense of urgency at Liverpool that is not happening at Sporting. The same sense of urgency that I feel at Benfica and Porto, that's not happening.
Porto, especially. Look how Porto, good they strengthened, and it was every position they needed. They strengthened, and I know they were in a different situation. They had pretty much a worse starting 11 than us, maybe bar goalkeeper and maybe striker when Gyökeres left, but. They saw they were weak in positions. They had the money. They sold Galeno and Gonzalez in January. They had money to spend. They spent it. We have money to spend. Our president has said we've got money. Yeah. So why were we not attacking the market in the same way? And it leads to another quote from Varandas here, which says, "quote We have never managed to be the market champion, quote of private jets or airports or secret hires. We've been stronger in winning championships."
What is this?
That's what I'm saying. What is my other point? It's like he's just using this as an excuse now, and it's just like it's annoying.
I can't wait for when we win nothing this season. I know I'm getting ahead of myself. I can't wait for when we win nothing. He says, "Well, we just won like back-to-back championships, so it's not the end of the world." And like, yeah, realistically, like it's not the end of the world, but that's a piss poor attitude to have. If the excuses are, it's September 3rd. If the excuses are starting this early in the season, it is going to be a long season for Sportingistas, I fear. Yeah. If this is how we're starting with excuses already and these word salad quotes from Varandas, he needs to stop public speaking. I've said this before. He is an awful public speaker.
He stopped for a while and now he's back.
He should go back to stopping for a while.
Like hid the keys for a while.
He should go back to stopping for a while. I liked him better when he didn't speak.
Back.
Yeah. He's back. He is back and better than ever. Get the theme music ready for him, Sam. The Eric Bischoff WWE theme music. He's ready to fucking rock and roll here. I liked him better when he shut up because these word salad quotes are just miserable to read and come across on the timeline.
But what's annoying, in June when Gyökeres thing went public and like the agent, he spoke so well. Like he spoke really good about Gyökeres and defending the interests of the club. And I think United, every sporting fan was on his side.
Yeah.
And then from now it's just like back to square one where it's like not addressing the issue. Like you said, just
it feels like
a bunch of words and stuff like that.
It feels like all the goodwill he built up with that situation. And I'm glad you pointed that one out, Sam. He immediately just reversed course on everything he said and did and decided to just piss away any goodwill he built up from that situation. Because like we were defending him. We're like, like no one's bigger than the club. Like stand your ground, stand your shit. And now it's just like, well, we didn't do it's okay. It's the lawyer's fault. No, it's okay. We don't fly private jets. Bro, where's all this money going? Like besides renovations, where is all this money going? I want to know because now I'm starting to get a little sus here. All you do is come out every couple months and say we've made all this money and we're doing so well financially. Where is it all going at the end of the day? Because clearly it's not being invested in Modalidade. Our Modalidade almost all stink outside of a couple. It's not being invested very well.
Futsal is slapping Benfica right now. Let me also just mention that.
Futsal is the only one.
Let me acknowledge that, though.
Futsal is the only one, and like roller hockey. But like our women's team is a shambles. Outside of futsal, our Modalidades are so to garbage at best. The transfer policy this summer was kind of brutal. I think they overpaid on a couple guys. What are you doing? Like, I don't want to hear we have so much money in the bank. Go and use it. Go do something with it. Invest it back in the club to make more money. Like, do something. Do your job.
Yeah. But for me, I think all you need to say is, you know what, we waited too long. We didn't get Jota Silva. Or you can even say, you know what, it was the legal team, like we just couldn't do it. All you need to say is we tried, we failed, we still got a strong squad to go for the title. That's it. But then it's almost like, do you know when someone's lying and they're just adding more to the story and they keep adding and adding?
He says more than what he needs to say, and that's what makes you suspicious. I don't believe you. If like you nailed it perfectly, Sam. You're so smart today. You're on job
today.
Especially today, though. You're like taking the words out of my mouth. You're right. If he just kept it like simple answer, we didn't do it, whatever. But yeah, he just keeps adding more stuff to it. It's like, okay, now I don't believe you because you're talking too much.
Yeah. But one thing, before we get into recapping the transfer window, one thing that was good news, if you look at it that way, we could look at it another way, who knows, is that Hjulmand rejected proposals that would have tripled his salary according to
You mean human?
I do mean human. But yeah.
Guys in the graphic designer part, guys in marketing, proofread your shit, man. Come on. Come on, man.
I'm glad they didn't go on sale at least. But oh well.
Did you imagine if we would have been dunked on for like years for selling that with a giant spelling error? Oh,
do you reckon either of these two noticed at the time? I assume Hjulmand was locked in.
I hope not, but I feel like they might have. I feel like they might have.
And like his head sort of covers a bit of the word. He might have just been like, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't know.
Someone needs to proofread. But it's this part that does worry me a bit. I think he'll stay at Sport for another year. I mean, we also have him with Gyökeres. Yeah, I don't know.
Next year, he's gone this time next year. I'll call it now.
Hopefully it's not the novella that Gyökeres was. But
I'm hoping it's a little smoother. But
I'm glad Hjulmand's staying, because if I were to lose Gyökeres, Hjulmand, and Sheila, if you know, in the same transfer window, my favorite marketing girly from Sporting, I would have been super sad, bro.
I have no clue who that is.
You're missing out, buddy.
I honestly thought you were going to say as Gaio, and then
you'll have to follow that too. He's down.
I mean, he's got you too, but Sheila.
You'll need to fill me in after. I'm clueless as to what's going on there.
If you know, you know. Let me just put that out there.
I guess I'm not in the know. I'm one of the few times that Richard Neves isn't in the know.
Shout out Verka now, bro. We lost it to Alverca. 7 solid years.
Damn. We're losing people to Alverca? What the fuck happened? We used to be a proper club.
Let's review the transfer market in full. Let's look at the ins. So there was quite a few. We got Luis Suarez for 22.2 million. Ioannidis for 22 million. Ioannidis for 12 million. Koch for 5.5. Rui Silva for 4.7. Alisson for 2.1. Mangus the GOAT for 300k, sorry. And then Joao Virginia on a free transfer. In terms of ins, out of 10, Danny, what are you rating this?
I'm going to give it a solid 8.5.
Generous.
I have my reservations with Luis Suarez, but so far so good. I would still say Ioannidis, let's see, but I think Ioannidis will still be an upgrade on Harder for this season. I'm not talking future, I'm talking right now. I've liked the highlight clips. Vaj, I think, is going to be our starting right back. Yesterday it was already too late. Ontem já era tarde, as they say in Portuguese. I've loved Koch so far. He's going to steal Morita's spot, whether he's back or not, soon or not, from injury. Alisson, young winger, has a lot to prove, but even still, I think he's done pretty much the same as BL, if not better. Mangas is the fucking GOAT. Virginia isn't really necessary, but I guess that's an upgrade on our backups, I guess. Rui Silva, I mean, the GOATs in my eyes as well. So I don't think we bought that bad. I think there's just obviously spots to be filled, but if we're not judging that, we're just judging it off the incomes. 8.5, I'd say.
Yeah, fair enough. Richard, what about you?
I'm not going to go as generous as Danny. I'll say 7.5.
All the decimals, guys. What happened to pure round numbers?
What's this woke nonsense?
Fact.
I said 5. I said 5 because the futsal team just scored a 5th as well.
Nice.
I'm potentially watching it on an IPTV right now. RIP Stream East, by the way.
RIP Stream. It's okay. We got other. They're Yarm 80 plus is what I use. Yeah, 7.5. I'll give it a 7.5. I've liked what I've seen from Suarez. I'm fine with Ioannidis. It's just frustrating because it feels like we just were linked to him not until recently. Like I felt like, okay, we didn't get him last year. It was done. Ioannidis I like a lot. And I want to have words about Lee Borges and some of his personnel choices after, because I do agree with Danny. That should be our starting right back. I've liked what I've seen from him, even though it's been in small bursts. Koch has been okay. Not like blown me away, but not let me down. He's just kind of been average. He's been fine. Rui Silva, I'm glad that it was an obligation to buy. So that's why I knock a bit of a point, because we knew we were getting them. But I'm glad that we reinforced the goalkeeper position. João Virginia is the new backup over like Franco Israel, so it's a lateral move at best. Mangush is probably the steal of the transfer window for me, like so cheap, and he's made such an instant impact and seems like a huge locker room guy already, which is great. You need a vibes guy. And Alisson Santos just kind of is there. He exists. We've really not
exist
seen
more and more now that we didn't buy a winger, by the way.
Yeah, so I guess we'll see more of him now that, like you said, we don't have anybody at the wing right now. But he's just kind of been there. Like we've seen almost nothing of him, it feels like. 7.5 out of 10, just because I feel like they got lazy in the latter half of the window and dragged their feet on a lot of these. Because it felt like every week it's like, oh, they're close to like several guys, and it's like, are you there or not? Like, what are we haggling over? 7.5, because I would have liked another winger to have been finalized, and another midfielder should have been needed, and that's something I wish they had attacked more. Because midfield feels like a bit of a weak point right now. So that's kind of my criticism. They dragged their feet. They didn't get the two positions that they really should be shoring up. I liked Conrad Harder. I like Conrad Harder. You're getting good money for him. It's tough to say no. You're getting a guy who's a couple years older who I guess, now can make an immediate impact. So we'll see what Ioannidis does. And like I said, I like what I've seen from Suarez so far.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Danny. I'll give it an 8. I think we've done very well in replacing Gyökeres. I don't think you can ever replace Gyökeres, but I've been impressed with what Suarez has brought to the table. Not necessarily in goals, but in terms of link-up play and being good on the ball. Even against Porto, we'll get into it, but I thought he was phenomenal. Even though the stats maybe don't show it, I thought he was really good. Ioannidis is a question mark for me just because of his injury history the last year. Yeah. He's missed a lot of games with a muscle injury. I don't know what muscle that is, but that could lead to problems down the line. But as a backup, I suppose, you never know. But I think, like you guys said, I do love Conrad Harder, but he's not ready to start in this team. Mm-hmm. I think Ioannidis can come in and be a starter if necessary, if, Suarez is injured or suspended, if we're rotating, and I'd be fine with that. Ioannidis, I agree, should be starting over Fresneda. Even in small bursts, he looks so much better than Fresneda. And I think if he starts against Porto, maybe the result changes. Koch, I've been impressed with. I think defensively, he's very good. Offensively, the jury's still out for me, I think. I think he's just a bit rash with his decisions. I think maybe he can slow the game down a bit more, and I do prefer Morita offensively. Mm-hmm. But with Morita's injury history and his current injury record, I don't know if he'll be playing a lot this season, and maybe Koch to be in the midfield full time. But maybe that's just because he needs rhythm, and that will come. Rui Silva, I'll skip that. Alisson Santos, man, I really don't know about him. Two I know
he feels like Artur. He feels like Artur 2.0 to me.
But yeah, he came off the bench against Porto, and I was just like, he dribbled the ball out of play. He shot that went wide, and that's
from like 40 yards.
40 yards, suicide. I think I said that's the dumbest shot choice you could have made in that position and situation.
It was actually the second dumbest because Conrad Harder 10 seconds before took that exact same shot.
Exactly. Yeah, I was bad. If you watch the stream, I was pissed off at both. I was like, "Why are you shooting from there? There's 8 guys in front of you. Pass the ball. What's the matter with you? Do better."
Whatever. Leipzig's problem, no.
Yeah,
facts. But yeah, Alisson, I'm not sure, and I think I don't know. Maybe off the bench will be okay, but I still think we could have got better. And I'm sure there's going to be people from the B team like Flavio Gonzalez who probably could do a better job than Alisson Santos, and probably be a lot cheaper.
This weekend, by the way, too. I'm hopeful that he'll have some minutes in this game in this season.
Yeah, and Ricardo Mangas, I agree. I don't think he'll be playing a lot more, especially when Maxi and Nuno Santos and Mateus Reis come back. But 300k, having a player like that as squad depth, and also a Sporting fan, in my book, always puts you up another level as well. So yeah,
that always earns you a couple extra points.
Also, on that point too, I forgot to mention it too. One of the reasons why I'm flabbergasted why it took so long for Jota and why we had this obsession with like Jeremiah and Kevin and other, like, specifically for a winger. I know he's coming back from injury, but in this system, I don't think Nuno Sanchez should be our left back or will play.
I agree.
I think he's going to be as a winger.
Is he in our plans is what I need to know. Because if he's not in our plans, that makes sense. If he's in our plans, then us getting another winger doesn't really make much sense there.
Which is what I was wondering. I'm like, well, if he's in your plans, then focus on a midfielder before the winger.
Yeah, Jota would make sense because Jota can play left wing. Jota can play left wing. Jota can play behind Trincão. I've seen Jota play as a striker at Guimarães, so even right wing. So whatever, he can play all along those lines. Why we needed both, didn't quite understand. I don't understand.
It didn't like focus on if you want another winger, that's fine. Pick the one you really want to hone in on and go hard at him first. Don't won't I, maybe, I don't know, with 2 guys and then end up with nothing. Focus on the one guy and go from there. Because, I agree with you, Danny. If Nuno Santos does factor into the plans, I don't see him being...
How many wingers do we need, man?
I don't see him being the left back because you already have a bit of a logjam at left back anyway. You're going to have 4 guys who can play left back? No.
And
I'd move him to the wing. He's the most attacking player out of those guys.
We can even push Maxi up, especially with Mateus Reis back and out of prison, and if they don't force him back into fucking Guantanamo Bay. We have Mungas and Mateus Reis at left back. Maxi could do a job there, but Maxi's probably better at left wing.
You have options to push guys who are left backs or wing backs up to the wing, because Maxi and Nuno Santos both were natural wingers. Nuno Santos, when he came here, played left wing. It wasn't until his second second season he started playing wing back.
It's not left back, by the way. It's left.
It's wing back. Because he has
a different position.
Because he has another center back
and Brits all along of England are constantly criticizing a winning system. They're not playing left backs at that team. We did not play left backs, so.
Your wing backs act more as actual wingers as opposed to defenders. That's the whole point.
Exactly.
Yeah, and John Virginia, 25, free agent, that backup, cool.
Yeah, you need a backup keeper. He's familiar.
I would have loved Kalai to maybe vie there, but he's right now to the Ioannidis.
How old is
Virginia
Kalai
is better, so.
He's 19, 20, I think.
Oh my god, he's still got some time,
and he's getting with the team in the 2nd division now. So
I mean, he's got some time. I imagine this is Rui Silva's goal for another year or 2 at the minimum. If you're gonna loan him out for this season, maybe next season or the season after is when you start test him out. Who knows?
Yeah,
it's gonna be Rui Silva's goal for a longer time, man. Keepers last for a long time. He's
they do. Depends on it. Depends because some keepers fall off a cliff.
They do. Adan, I remember Adan, but
I will say
only got better with age.
Rui Silva in the Super Cup mistake. I don't think he made a mistake against Porto, but
but he could have maybe done better on that. Yeah.
Yeah,
hear you.
not against Porto, sorry, against Nacional.
Nacional, the goal.
Yeah.
Nacional, I was like, ugh.
Could've
Let's say the goal against Porto. Neither the second one absolutely is not his fault.
Oh no,
The first one, me and Danny were screaming at the defenders on that one. Like, we've all left like two guys wide open. What are you doing?
Yeah. We say that though, but he also had a really other than that, like against Porto, he had. I mean, some of the shots were right at him, but he
was good. He was good when called upon. The second goal, absolutely zero chance any keeper saving.
I know we're gonna get to the Porto game, and I know it'll be the first thing we talk about. But let me just say, Adan and Net on that very first Porto chance might hit off his ass and go in. Or if we had Onana, it might hit off his ass and go in, bro. So, but I agree. He's not perfect, but I mean. For the level we're at, I think we
to this comment, Simoes is also just coming back from injury as well, so I understand not throwing him to the Wolves right away.
We'll see.
Because I would like to see more João Simoes minutes now that he is healthy, but like he is also coming off of a knee injury, so we need to not rush a guy like that back yet.
I know it's more considered a B team signing, but Kayan also looked decent in preseason. He's looked good for the B team. I'm sure he was on the bench against Porto. I'm sure
was he on the bench? I don't recall him. I
think he was on the bench if I'm not mistaken. So was João Simoes as well.
Simoes I know was on the bench. I remember him.
Yeah. Okay. I think he'll pop. I'm pretty sure he was on the bench. But anyways, I think he'll pop up some games here and there.
Toss the games for sure. You'll see him and toss the league, I imagine, at minimum.
Yeah, definitely. Let's go towards the outs and give a ranking as well. So Gyökeres for 65 million, Conrad Harder for 24, Esugo to Chelsea for 22, Mark Edwards to Burnley for 10, Frank Rizzo for 4, Vladan for 2.5, Diogo Pinto for 3, Esgaia for 3, and BL and the bomb squad, I suppose, on loan. Danny, what would you give this out of 10?
Can we before we give the outs, can we acknowledge something? The Sam Fonseca jersey curse lives on. Victor Gyökeres and Ricardo Esgaia both gone.
And I bought a Jordan jersey as well, and they said,
Lord, he's not long for this world." Then, do you have a Pedro Gonzalez shirt? So, do you have a Marcus Edwards jersey?
No comment.
Yeah, he definitely does. So we definitely does. Sam,
who do I really want gone?
Federico Arandas.
Really want God.
Yeah. Get a Varandas and like a Fresneda jersey since we're at it.
Varandas, number 1 jersey. Let's see how that happens.
I still want Pedro Gonzalez jersey, although he changed the number the
next season.
Didn't you have Paulinho when he changed the number 2?
He did.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
He's got 2 Paulinhos, one of which is signed.
Might be cursed, bro.
You might. That's crazy. That's like this is getting to reach like Drake. Like Sam, this is getting to reach Drake levels of curse. I'm just saying.
Oh, almost.
This is getting like a couple more, and we're gonna have a serious discussion. We're gonna need to start. I'm just saying, if you buy like a friggin' who knows what jersey, if you buy like a Suarez jersey and then he leaves or something, we're gonna have to start a dialogue.
Yeah.
I mean, fair enough. Yeah, I'll take responsibility for this.
Yeah.
I knew it, and I still bought an Esgaia shirt anyway.
Yeah, you knew what you were doing with that one. To be fair,
yeah. But in my defense, he's been rumored to leave for like 3 years.
For a while, we were on the show. We're like, we'll believe it when we see it, and then it was like, oh, it actually happened. Okay, fair enough. We didn't think it was gonna. We thought it was gonna fall through again. We were waiting.
But yeah, Danny, what would you rate this out of 10?
Yeah, I was saying a 0 because of each guy who's gone. It just doesn't feel right. But I don't know. There's another one that's not mentioned here. It's probably transfer market has it for the B team, but especially given like what we were talking about with wingers and us looking for a winger right now, Alfonso Moreira would have, maybe had some. I think he would have done better than Alisson coming into this Porto game.
I would have preferred Alfonso Moreira over Alisson. Yeah,
for 2 million as well.
For so cheap.
And I don't know I think he might have gotten injured now, but I know that he did well, at least like the very first game for Lyon, or maybe I'm thinking of a preseason game, but I don't know. Outgoings, I mean, I'll give it like a 7, 6.5, 7. Gyökeres was never going to stay, so at least we, tried to get as much value out of that. We're talking about a midfielder. Sugu is rotting in fucking. I don't know what the kid thought, and Kenda. While we're at it, I don't know what they're thinking about going to Chelsea. Like, you have to be a superstar to play, and then if not, you're just gonna get loaned out to Strasbourg in like a year anyway. So it doesn't make sense. Marcus Edwards, fair enough. We could have maybe gotten more change for him, but
we could have got more like a year before. We should have cashed when we had.
Mind you, he's currently rotting away at Burnley's bench too.
Yeah.
Israel and Vladan had to go.
We lost money on Vladan, but we made money on Israel because he was a free transfer, so it was a wash.
Ishkayu, as much as I love him and he was a locker room guy, he had to go. Sam, we thank you for your sacrifice. Monetary wise, I know those jerseys aren't cheap.
Actually, the one I got as go one was on discount. It was last
season's, wasn't it? Yeah,
that's the only reason I bought it. It was like
a nice little discount.
We love a discount.
Still, it was still more expensive than it needed to be, Sam, because you paid money for it. It should have been for free.
Yeah, you paid actual currency for that.
Wait, was it already like Ishgayu included, or did you have to pay extra?
No, you definitely paid
extra for that. Yeah,
I was gonna say you definitely paid. They don't just. I feel like they would not have that just on stock.
Again, thank you for your sacrifice, Sam.
Thank you for your service. We appreciate your service.
BL, I mean, he had to go, but at the same time, why did he come?
That's a money laundering deal.
No, it's like a nice little Erasmus. Fair enough. I kind of looking back on my university years, I wish I fucked off 6 months to Europe and then came back. That would have been nice. So BL's probably around that age that I wanted to do it. Conrad Harder is the only thing that we can maybe miss or maybe say wasn't necessary, but I think at that point we can't look at Marcus Edwards and say, we should have sold him a year ago and then have Conrad Harder there and maybe not take up this opportunity. I think we got more for Conrad than we paid for Luis Suarez, for example, and Luis Suarez is clearly our number one. They're paying more so for potential. It has to hit, but I also think he will. I think Germany's gonna. I
think he'll do well in Germany.
Better, yeah, he'll do better in the Bundesliga than he will in Portugal. So, a 7, man. There's nobody here that other than Nusugu, but I mean, I get that there was also a really good price there. There's nobody that I'm looking at here that I think had to stay. Obviously, Gyökeres, but there was no way he was going to stay, right? But nobody I can say that we're going to necessarily.
There was that one day, like 1 or 2 days news report, which they were saying maybe, and they got our hopes up, and then that died a death.
Of who? Of Gyökeres
staying, saying, well, he's thinking about it. He's had discussions with his family.
Not only his fucking uncle at the Taça Portugal staying over. I might have to talk to him. We might have to stay.
We would have to have words.
No, bro. Yeah. And then he decided not to show up for preseason. So
yeah, but it's okay because we use the money we find him for Mangas. So
yeah,
really.
Yeah.
Cite your sources, Rich. Unlike other fucking Twitter pages.
Except we always go. This was from Record. This was from Abola. This was from My Football.
No, but that stat was from fucking Sam Fonseca. That's where that stat was from.
There was one we tweeted the other day and it had Abola at the end. He was like, and someone was like, "You just copied this from Abola." I'm like,
"Yes, we did."
Like,
yes, we did. Thank you for noticing. Yeah,
it's like
we
how Fabio Silva and like that other striker, I forgot who, like had the same fucking farewell post.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, bro, can I copy your homework? Yeah, sure. Just be sure to change it up a little bit.
But they didn't change shit, bro.
They didn't change anything. They forgot to change it. Oh Lord. Yeah, fair.
Go Richard.
If I was to give this, I'd probably give it like a 7.5, like Danny said. We knew Gyökeres wasn't going. Asugo was. I feel like the money that they could have got for Kenda was made up for in the Asugo transfer. Like they probably could have got like 5 to 8 million more in the Kenda fee, but I feel like that just went to the Asugo deal instead, like a bit of an overpay for him to make up for the difference. Edwards was the obligation to buy, and he's just like you said, Danny. He's just kind of riding the bench in England.
I had him in my FPL for like a week.
Same, yeah.
Like, oh, fuck this, bro. It's a waste of $5 million.
Yeah, so Edwards, it's just Edwards. The only thing we were sad about, like we've said previously, was it would have been nice to cash in on him when his value was closer to 30 million as opposed to a third of that. Israel, they're making straight profit because it was a free transfer. Kovacevic, they burned their money, but he was going to be on the permanent loan purgatory
carousel. Big save
anyways.
this weekend, by the way, or last weekend. I can't remember what it was.
Could have used that a few times when he was here, but cool. Could have used that a couple times.
No kidding.
Yeah, like they lost money, but like it's better to get something for him now than have him on the permanent loan carousel for 2 years and then just rescind contract mutually. Diogo Pinto, I have no opinion on that one. Sorry, Diogo. Ishgayu, I mean, it's been rumored for like 2 years that he's been on the outs. Other than being a vibes guy, I don't think I'll miss him because he is a frustrating player. He seems like the nicest dude, but he's a frustrating player to watch.
Let me say this since he's gone too. Also, I've seen pictures of him today in Turkey.
Yeah,
the man's gorgeous.
He's a handsome man. He is a handsome man. He's a handsome boy.
Or sorry, he has aura. I should say. My bad. That's the.
He's a handsome. He's a handsome
straight way
man.
of saying that a guy is a good-looking guy.
Would.
oh. All right.
Double entendre there, by the way, too.
All right. God damn it. And then BL, I think, was just like a money laundering operation, if anything. I don't know what. That feels like the most pointless transfer, like, in recent memory for me. Like you said, he did his 6 months in Europe, Danny, and then went back home. That's what this feels like. He just we laundered some money. We cleaned it up a little bit.
Now being coached by Anselmi, by the way. Fun fact.
Wow, small world. Yet I never got into fucking who's somebody famous, Taylor Swift. I never run into her. Yeah, I have no comments otherwise. It's an okay transfer window. It's not like they knocked it out of the park. They didn't do anything dreadful completely unlike the outgoing one. So yeah, like 7.5 because like nothing really crazy or surprising outside of Conrad Harder, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'd give it a 9. I'm actually quite impressed. I think maybe the FIFA Euro quest could have been a bit more, but I think for a 27-year-old who's only played in League of Portugal, I think, we were pretty much going to get the best we could.
They were Prem snobs were never going to allow them to pay more than what they paid.
They were also like really trying to push it for even less. So the fact that we got that much from is respectable.
Like they were being real. We talked about us being cheap, but like these teams that make like what we make in one transfer window in like a week, we're really trying to nickel and dime us on that one.
Yeah, with Conrad Harder as well. I think we bought him for like maybe 22 million. But I think for the play he was never going to start. He wanted to start, and I think that's fair. He wants to prove somewhere and start somewhere else. I respect that. We got 24 million for him. We made profit. I don't think he's that good. I do like him as a player. But
his decision making leaves a lot to be desired sometimes.
Yeah, I think he's a good player off the bench for now at this stage of his career. I don't think he's anything more than that right now. Like you said, decision making, just wanting to shoot from absolutely everywhere. I think off the bench that's good, and against tired legs, like we saw against Braga last year, he was phenomenal. Even against Benfica last year in the Taça of the Portugal final, phenomenal off the bench. But I don't think he was ever going to be a starter. And I think Luis Suarez is leaps and bounds ahead of him in terms of link-up play and things like that. And even maybe finishing as well. But yeah, Dario Sugo as well, 22 million for a player who had one good season on loan. And to be honest, I think would be a part of the Chelsea-Strasbourg forever loan system at this point.
He was on our forever loan system anyway. So the fact they got that for a dude who had barely played a game for this club in the past 2 years is crazy work.
Yeah, Marcus Edwards, I mean, we said enough about him. I'll move on. Franco Israel, I think, is a good sell. I think he was good in some games, but he still has a lot to learn. And similar with Conrad Harder, he wants to start. He was never going to start. Fair enough. We got good money for him. And, from what I've seen the clips in Italy so far, it doesn't look good for him, unfortunately.
You feel like if Israel was going to break out, it would have been prior to Rui Silva coming in for sure.
Yeah,
like and when he was basically the out and out starter. You feel like if he was going to break out and solidify the position, it would have been around that time.
I thought he was going to, especially that game against Man City. I was like, he didn't look spectacular, but he kept Haaland out.
He did enough to give you some semblance of confidence in that early going of the season.
But it felt like as soon as he got it, he may have just thought, "Oh yeah, I'm the starter now," and that's when it went downhill. they say when you get the most comfortable is when you're going to make the most mistakes. But yeah, I think good business. On the flip side, though, Kovacevic has done very well at Norwich, and Norwich fans
good for him.
do like him.
He's bouncing back.
Yeah, looks like he's having a better time of it than Franco Israel. And then Diogo Pinto, fine, like he was never going to start, never going to be anyway. He's the backup goalkeeper to Renan, which is a very small world.
He was gonna be the who's the guy? He was gonna be the Andre Palu at best on this at Sporting. Like the third string, you're never gonna get. You're just gonna ride the bench and get a good view of the game every week.
And I will say, Renan Ribeiro was voted the goalkeeper of the week. I think Goalpoint put him as the goalkeeper of the week this week. So fair play, clean sheet against Santa Clara, I believe.
Away,
bro. Wow.
Yeah, true. Santa Clara, who's cursed by. There's something about little teams making Conference League one year and then getting fucked the next year. It needs to be studied in Portugal. Yeah, but I think they're in like the relegation zone again now. But
already, yikes.
Shout out to Renan. Reminds me of Ronaldo. Reminds Sousa Sintra of Ronaldo.
He's actually been pretty good for Estrella so far. I'll give him credit.
He's been all right. Yeah, he's been fine.
He almost kept up. Or did he play the Benfica game?
He did, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. They almost didn't win that. They don't deserve to win that, to be fair.
Yeah, agreed. And then for his guy, I said it on Twitter. I think he was the punchline to many jokes. Everyone made fun of him. But in terms of a childhood dream, winning titles with your club, staying there for, I think, 17 years in total, and being, nearly 200 appearances, I think maybe like 150 appearances, something like that, is nothing to be laughed at. And you know what? He wasn't the best player, but goddamn, he tried. So you've got to respect that.
You know what? He was the ultimate. Like, you wanted to have him around because he was a vibes guy. Like, he just seemed like the guy everyone loved on the team, no matter what.
He also had his moments.
He had a couple moments here and there. Every once in a while, he'd do something to be like, oh, look at this guy.
Yeah. But I'm sad to see him leave, but, I understand it's time to go. He wasn't going to start. He was a third choice right back.
I would have really liked him. I would have really liked him at TFC, honestly. I would have really wished we had
still time.
Not now.
We're not worthy.
We're not worthy of these guys. We're never gonna get a Portuguese guy for TFC. That's the one thing. I need a guy from Sporting, like just some obscure Sporting guy for TFC.
No, but if the first Portuguese guy we get at TFC is Gaio, we're gonna have problems.
I mean, it's TFC. It's
people
TFC,
are gonna be in the middle of the street because they know I'm a Sporting fan, and they're
it's
like, "Why
Toronto
the fuck is
FC though?" Here, like, if we weren't in on like Nani or Paulinho or any like half decent Portuguese guy to come to Mexico or United States, we're like Gaio is Toronto FC's level right now.
Even, bro.
Manga's at Toronto FC would have hit.
That's crazy.
Let's go on to the game then. The game
do we have to?
We do, unfortunately.
I don't wanna. I disagree.
Unfortunately, a 2-1 loss for Sporting. Before we get into the game, let me read out the lineups. In goal, Rui Silva. Then Fresneda, De Bast, Inacio, Mangus, Pedro Gonçalves, Koch, Hjulman, Jenny, Trincao, and Suarez. Off the bench, Ioannidis, Kenda, Harder, and Addison Santos. Richard, because you want to talk about this game so much, you can go first.
Of course. I think Danny and I summed up pretty well. Like, it was a very even game for long stretches. I do feel like we didn't necessarily deserve to win. I think a draw would have been fair. I don't disagree with a Porto win either. I felt like they did more to capitalize on their chances when they needed to. Like, we fell apart for 10 minutes, I think we said, Danny, like that 10-minute stretch in the second half. 8.
Well, yeah,
8. 10, yeah. 8 minutes. Yeah.
If you really want to take the time they took to celebrate.
Yeah. Well, that's because people were throwing lighters and shit on the field. Like a bunch of idiots.
I shouldn't laugh, but yeah.
Yeah, we shouldn't laugh. I was stupid. I'm so mad. I'm like, stop throwing stuff on the field on stream. I was like, just knock it off, grow up.
Mind you, the Porto fans destroyed
a glass panel, and somebody fell. Like,
Nuno Santos was having PTSD, I guess, when that news came out. But
yeah, a lot of people were having PTSD when that news came out. Believe you me, that was a hot topic of discussion in this household.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like they just. I mean, to be fair, their second goal is an absolute thing of beauty. I think my exact reaction to be something was "Wee!" on the stream. I was like, yeah, I can't even be mad. First goal, however, I have some bones to pick. Even Fresneda, what are you doing? The rest of the defenders, even, what are you doing to let him walk in alone? Just brutal on that first goal, especially. We come back with the own goal, just calamitous stuff, but it gets us back in the game. We pushed like from that point on. Where like we had a couple chances. We forced 2 or 3 really good saves at a Jota, but it just wasn't quite enough. It was just frustrating. And then one thing I will say is the passing in this game was awful all game. It felt like we couldn't string more than like 2 or 3 passes together at a time before giving it up very foolishly. It was very just jarring and obnoxious and just flat out annoying more than anything. And my beef with Rui Borges is Fresneda starting and Ioannidis not starting. When Ioannidis came on, the difference that the team had going forward on that right side specifically, like you noticed it almost immediately. Danny pointed it out on the stream really well, which is they're actually starting to finally switch it to the right side more than just going up on the left, which gave them more options. He just looked way more comfortable on the ball. He looked more comfortable in defense. Yeah, I've seen enough of Fresneda. He's been given enough chances over the last like 2 and a bit seasons now, it feels like. I don't think he's anything going to be anything more than what he is right now. Not anytime soon, anyways. I don't want to see him starting again unless somebody's like injured long term or suspended. I want to see Ioannidis starting moving forward because Fresneda had a howler of a game, and 5.5, in my opinion, is being generous of him for this goal point rating. Liked what I saw of Luis Suarez. Again, he could have had a goal or 2 this game. Del Costa was on the other side, though. Hillman was fine. Trincão let me down a little bit. Porto was okay for stretches, and Jenny was his usual mid-self. Sometimes he do something good, sometimes he do something frustrating. Tough loss, but kind of sort of deserved in that sense. Like they didn't do much. The chances we created weren't good enough until the second half. It felt like we didn't test Del Costa much until the second half. So 2-1, it stinks, and now you've got to play a chasing game this point moving forward in the league. So let's see what happens. They've got an international break to think about it and kick themselves and figure it out though. So we'll see.
Yeah, I speak for everyone here when I say we want Vag.
I'll take one further. I'm in love with Vag.
Yes. we never miss an opportunity for wordplay at all things Alvalade.
Guys, we're so mature.
We are 28 and 30, and how old are you, Sam?
26.
We're 26, 28, and 30 years old. Fuck. God damn it.
Years young.
Facts. Danny, I know you spoke about it on stream as well, but what were your thoughts on this game?
Oh, fair. I mean, you take it away, Sam. I'll piggyback off of you. You watch the stream. I won't take too long.
No worries. So I think we were really poor. I think the second half, like you guys mentioned, the first 10 minutes, we were all over them. I was like, damn, this is going to be a second
outside of that chance on kickoff where they immediately hit the post, to be fair.
Yes, that is true. But I thought we were all over them in the second half. I was like, yes, this is it. We're gonna take them down the Alvalade. The atmosphere was great. And then I don't understand how you can leave someone like Luke de Jong, the guy whose really job only can do is finishing, leaving him open.
He's just there to score. That's all he can do.
And it is on Fresneda, but it's also on the Bast. If you watch what he sort of tracks his marker, he just leaves Fresneda with de Jong, and there's no communication there. So de Jong is just able to go past. People are saying that maybe Kochavelli should have intercepted the pass or, should have looked up, but I just think it's not really on him. Like, crosses will happen.
I think he was ball watching there a bit. I think
they were all ball watching.
The Bast is sort of on the guy behind them. Ioannidis sort of ball watching there as well.
But I said it on stream. They were all ball watching.
Yeah, they were all not. All of them weren't looking good, but Fresneda, I think, the worst because he's just standing there, not really doing anything.
Yeah, and for me, the second goal, sometimes you just have to hold your hands up and say, you know what, fair enough. And that was one of them.
Immediately when that goal, I was like, I can't even be mad at that one. That's a crazy goal.
a fantastic goal. And I will say, William Gomez for them was incredible all game. I thought there were so many opportunities that he was going to score. But yeah,
he was dangerous anytime he got the ball.
He makes me miss Anselmi. Anselmi refused to play him. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But in terms of overall performance, I mentioned it when we started, but Luis Suarez I thought was fantastic. It didn't result in a goal, but he felt like the only attacker willing to do something and willing to try. That was Luis Suarez, and that has been his game since joining. But that also means that Trincao, Pedro Gonçalves, and Jenny were absolutely horrible. They did nothing of note that I can remember. Trincao especially
got a chance in the first half, like wide open over the net.
Yeah, Trincao especially. He in big games, I think there does need to be a question of Trincao and mainly Trincao and also Pedro Gonçalves. I think recently, especially, they both just go missing. Pedro Gonçalves, coming back from injury, fair enough. But Trincao in big games, for me, just sometimes just disappears and doesn't look ready for the occasion. This was another one. He did nothing. He did nothing to improve the team. I think just on a glance, rated the worst there out of every single player in terms of goal point, apart from goal off the bench for Porto. But he was just poor. And he has been, I think, in big games for a while, especially under Rui Borges. But I agree with what everyone's saying. This right side of Jenny and Fresneda has been poor. Even though we won against Aroca 6-0 and Nacional 4-1 and Caspia 2-0, that is the weak point of our team, that right side. Kenda is better than Jenny at this point. Fresneda, we've only seen Ioannidis in burst, so I don't know. But from the looks of it, Ioannidis looks much better than Fresneda does. But by far, Kenda should be starting over Jenny. And I don't know if it's because he's going to Chelsea that maybe Rui Borges like, you know what, we're not going to play him as much because he's not going to be our player. And Jenny, people said that maybe Jenny was in the team to try and increase value because there were links to Fenerbahce and Aston Villa. Maybe. But if you're watching him, it didn't increase his value at all. If anything, teams are like, nah, I'm not going to buy Jenny after these performances. Because in every single game so far, he has been poor. The same with Fresneda. Every single game so far, he has been poor. Mangas had that game against Aroca was better than pretty much any game that Fresneda has had in a Sporting shirt. So, I don't know. Speaking of Mangas, I thought he was pretty poor this game as well. I know he got the
technical assist on the goal, on the own goal, but can I ask a question?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Where is Eduardo Quaresma? Is he hurt?
He was on the bench.
He's not good enough to play though. Who are we dropping here? The Bast? I don't think.
No,
so.
but even off the bench,
though, maybe.
That's what I'm saying though. We've seen none of him. Kenda's a weird one too. You mentioned it, Sam, because he's technically not our player after this season, but you have him on your team now. Use him.
I don't think that's the reason though. I personally, I agree that Jenny has definitely dipped, and there should be he shouldn't be an automatic starter up until this point. I think Kenda should have had a game where he started. This one potentially he should have started because Jenny was poor the game before. But and Kenda came on and got 2 assists if I'm remembering correctly. No, not against. Was it Nacional that he got 2 assists?
I think.
Was it Aroca? I think it was Aroca.
One of the games he got 2 assists.
Nonetheless, even if it's Nacional, I think Kenda could have started that Nacional game. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying otherwise. I think Jenny does provide something different when it comes to the one-on-one that Kenda doesn't, and I think that's why Rui Borges has been sticking with him a little more, at least for now. I think once these games come fast and fury, I think we'll see more games from Kenda. I don't believe in this rhetoric that we're not playing Kenda because he's gonna go to Chelsea next year, or else I don't think he's coming off the bench for the most part. I think we'd play Allison a bit more. But I agree with you where Jenny also hasn't been lights out, where it's demanding for him to constantly be starting. One thing that, since we're on the Jenny topic, that I have to bring up. The one thing that Jenny did do, or it should have resulted into something, and I want your guys' opinion on it. To me, I think it's a stone cold penalty in the first half.
Oh I forgot about
Jenny is trying to.
How was he not going to look at
the hand of the back that Porto fans want to claim he's grabbing onto Mota? Is Jenny the ball? Jenny has the possession of the ball. He's trying to get past Mota. Mota has never had even a sniff at the ball. Jenny pushes it past Mota. He's trying to go past the defender to collect the ball again, and Mota is bare tackling him to the floor. Richard, I know you've played this game when you were a kid at recess in the winter. Sam, I don't know about England. I want to say the Americans that are up north or northeast have played this game. It was like a British bulldog tackle. Sam, I don't know if you. It was a British bull.
Bro,
you grab the guy as he's
British
running
bulldog,
and you slam him to the floor.
You have to ask that question.
I know, but I don't know because it's British bulldog. I don't know if the Brits. It's like French fries. Do the French? Call it French fries. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, I mean, the only thing we can say that Jenny did this game, it should have resulted to something.
Yeah.
In my opinion. I would love to hear what you guys.
The fact that I said this on stream, the fact that they didn't even look at it on VAR, the fact they didn't even go to the booth is shocking behavior from that officials team. That is unbelievable. There's no semblance of a ball being played. It's nothing but pure contact. And the people saying, well, he's got his hand on his back. Yeah, as he's falling is when he goes for the hand on the back. What do you mean? It is unbelievable that they didn't even think of looking at that. Yeah, penalty in my books for sure. And just blown away that they didn't think we're going to review this at least and see. Because I guarantee you, if they go to review, they're calling it a penalty.
Yeah. So for me, I think it's a penalty, but I think there are two factors of why it wasn't. One is the player. Jenny goes down way too often, so many times that a referee is thinking, "Oh, it's Jenny, it's fine."
It's the Tarami rep near and Jokeres rep near the end, right? They stopped getting those calls when they used to always get those calls.
Okay. Yeah.
Two, I think by the time he even gets around Francisco Moura, Diogo Costa has the ball. I think no matter what happens in this situation, Jenny has lost the ball. But I still think it's a penalty because Francisco Moura, one, doesn't make an attempt to play the ball. Even when the ball goes past him, he's not looking at the ball. He's looking at Jenny. So for me, that's a penalty. And I don't understand, like Rich said, how it hasn't gone to VAR for the referee to have a look. It didn't make sense to me. And also, I hate playing this card. But if that is Mateus Reis on Borja Sainz or William Gomez, 1,000,000% that's a penalty. 1,000,000%. But
yeah, I agree. And that's not to justify us. We should have won this game or we should have lost this game or a draw is fair. I'm not saying
it potentially changes the result huge.
First, you're going into the first half potentially because that's like the 40th or 41st minute.
That was late. It was late in the first half.
Could be us going in 1-0. We can easily blow it. We blew it in 8 minutes. We could easily blow it, but I think it becomes a different game. But yeah.
There's also one. I'm trying to find it. Handball.
Luis Suarez. It's in the first half. It's like
they
have the shot that hits off the post, and Luis Suarez, which also I must say, like we've been mentioning all game, all podcast. I have been critical of his finishing ability, and he didn't finish, but his shots were lethal this game, and Diogo Costa, especially towards the end of the second half, had to make a huge save on Luis Suarez to have this to have their team come out with the victory. First half, not even a look. To be fair, it's tough to always catch these, and
it was so quick. I didn't realize it until after the game when someone pointed it out.
Yeah,
me too. It would have been a soft one in my opinion, but Benderak, like we were saying all stream, was Sporting's best player. Not the hand was away from the body. The shot was going. It went over the post, but it did hit Benderak's arm. Luis Suarez was adamant it was a corner. If the ref at least sees the deflection, I think it might stand a chance to go to VAR. But because the ref from the get-go, because again, this is early in the first half, from the get-go, had this adamant opinion that, I'm not going to give Sporting a lot. I wonder why. It must have had something to do with the press conference.
Can't imagine why.
Allegedly, who knows? I don't know. Because the ref was adamant on that, we not only didn't get a corner from it, which we should have. We didn't get a penalty from that.
We didn't get a VAR review potentially, which we should have.
And then we didn't get the VAR, which maybe we should have. But
yeah. But the worst decision of this game for me did not come from a referee.
Oh no.
Came from this chance right here. How?
Yes.
Oh
yes,
bro. Okay, can I tell you something? I
Go
am
on.
95% sure that the reason he doesn't pass his Jenny is because Jenny's just barely offside on that entire run. And that is why he had to pass to Pot.
But the pass to Pot also isn't great either.
It's not a great pass.
At this point, you can see the defender is going to lean more towards Jenny.
Yeah.
So Luis Suarez, although I think he's a great passer of the ball, needs to put it a bit more ahead of Pot there.
Yeah.
And then maybe Pot has a chance to get it and maybe have a shot on that.
Yeah, he puts it more across as opposed to ahead of him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am 95% sure if the reason he has to pass the Pot in the first place because Jenny is offside. And I said it when we were watching the game in real time. The whole entirety of that run, I'm like, he is at least half a step offside. So even if you score, it's probably coming back anyways.
Yeah. For me, all three players annoy me in this scenario because I admit Luis Suarez, the pass was bad, but I also think maybe he could have waited till Jenny got onside to pass to Jenny. Jenny should be onside the whole play. That was absolutely, I agree.
That's 2 years in a row, by the way, in the Clásico at home in the Alvalade, where Jenny's fucked up on a 3-on-1. Because we had that last year where it was a 3-on-1 and he should have passed to literally anybody else and he shot it at the guy in front of him. And I was screaming at my television. Like, what are you doing?
Lastly, I think Pedro Gonçalves, one, should take the shot earlier. Or two, look at your surroundings and maybe take another touch.
Take another touch and saddle yourself,
Or give it across to Jenny or anyone.
Or
I think
pass it back to Luis Suarez. Luis Suarez was asking for it too.
Facts, Every single person in this
everyone's at fault. Everyone was wrong in this situation. No one.
Mind you, it's easier to say now and not in the moment, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But
that's what they get paid to do, man. That's why they get paid big bucks.
Exactly. Facts.
But yeah, this game was just
one to forget.
Which is why I don't think we were really quick. Which is why I don't think we were that bad. Like we said, I think we fucked it in the second half. We were superior. We fucked it that in 8 minutes we let the game go. One to an easy. We should have stopped the goal. The second banger, nothing to do with that.
Nothing you can do.
Their chances in the first half, minus that first 15 seconds, is pretty much straight out Rui Silva.
There's a lot. To be fair,
October is coming. That's why I'm thinking of Rui Costa.
To be fair, there's a lot of Ruiz in Portuguese football.
There's
way too many.
And a lot of Silvas as well.
And a lot of Silvas too.
So there's their opportunities aren't exactly it's right at the keeper for the most part. So are ours for the most part. Dio Costa had to make some critical saves. And then we look at our chances. We had the 3-on-1. We have a penalty or 2 penalty shouts. I think the only reason I'm more pissed off on this game isn't necessarily because I think we were necessarily horrible against Porto. I think first half, it is what it is. It's a big team. We're not going to always, come on top of those. But at least it was 0-0. Second half, we were clearly the better team, and I think that's what infuriates me the most is that we were clearly the better team, and at some point it looked like we were about to get it was about to become 3-0 before we even got our foot back planted onto the pitch. So that's where I'm at with that game. I thought a draw would have been fair. I think if we win that game, we have a different opinion about it. Because we lost that game, we're feeling a little hard done by, and because we lost this game and because Porto got on top, I think the Porto fans are a little their chests are beating, the bait cheios or whatever. I don't know exactly how to put it in English, but I don't think they were as good as Twitter is making them out to be. They might win the league. That's definitely a possibility. I'm not saying otherwise, but I still don't think they're as good as they think they are, personally.
Yeah, I agree. I saw a lot of overreaction from this game about Rui Borges and Sporting.
Yeah.
But I think it was a poor performance, don't get me wrong, right? But if you look at the games we played so far, 2 goals against Casapia, 6 against the Roca, okay, fair, they were down to 10 men. 4 against Nacional, again, fair, they're down to 10 men. We have been playing really well, apart from the Nacional game, I will say.
Yeah.
But we've been playing really well. There's been nothing, even in the Benfica game in Supertaça, I know we lost. I thought we played pretty well. But there is nothing in this right now, at least. Obviously, this could be changing in 2 months or 3 months. Yeah. There's nothing now to suggest that Rui Borges isn't doing a good job. I think he's doing well. I still think the squad needs some time to get together. But the issue with what Sporting has been over the last few years was never losing points to a Porto or Benfica. It was losing points to AVS or Santa Clara or teams like that,
Or
which
Nacional.
will probably be
or Money
yeah.
to
Nacional, Tondela, these type of teams that we were losing to
Rio Ave,
and dropping points to. And we're coming up against those teams and we're doing really well. Casapia, especially last season, was a tough team to beat. We had like 27 shots against them compared to their like 4.
And we only scored 2 because I was there and my negative energy was like onto the pitch, I think. Personally. Like, we should have like had like 10 that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've looked good, and I'm still impressed with Rui Borges. I'm still a big fan, as you know, have been from day one. I think everyone on here has been from day one as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't see the reaction. People will say, "Oh, we need new coaching if we want to be serious." You know, he's not the long-term manager. I think there's no evidence to suggest any of that. Personally, I think someone put it today, someone I knew said that people like the next shiny toy, or if it's a manager or a player, that they like it just because that's how, you know, the brain works. But for me, Rui Borges I think is still the right man for the job. Obviously, maybe in a month or 2 months, this looks stupid, but I'm still going to back him. And I think he deserves to be backed. And I don't feel he was pretty backed with that Jota Silva thing, but, you know.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
And on top of that, with Rui Borges, changed the system. We're still playing great. Last year had to adapt to a system so that the team can adapt to it. We became champions. Against adversity, we did the double. We lost so far. Our games that we've lost were to Benfica and Porto, and you can argue we were the better teams on both of those games. So yeah,
he's lost 1 game in the league since December.
And this is his first loss in the league, and people are losing their fucking shit. I just to those Sporting fans, I just want to understand, who is it that you want then? Give me a realistic.
There's a guy who's free right now who might have some time to kill. I don't know if you know. His name is
He's too expensive. Don't say it.
What do you mean? We have so much money.
unrealistic.
We were going to spend 30-40 million on some dude named Kevin
with a Batman fucking logo on his neck. No, but realistic. Anyways, that manager, by the way, that manager is waiting for October, because if Ruben Amorim is still at Manchester United, that manager that we won't say that I love so much and I don't want to believe it is going to Benfica.
I think that manager is probably best served to wait until next July. If he's smart, I think you wait until next July. He who I'm not going to name, and wait and see what happens.
Lie. I had no idea who you were talking about, and then it's just popped in.
Oh my god! Come on.
I mean, I think me and Richard are talking about the same guy, right? He's just
recently left the Turkish team.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Yeah, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. That's who I'm talking about.
I was thinking, I was like, who does Danny like as a manager? And then I was going through my head. I was like, is it Xavi?
Like.
And then you were like, oh, Mourinho. Okay.
Or Jesus. No.
I wish.
Yeah, no. I think Mourinho would be best served to wait until maybe July to see what his options are. He's getting paid a lot of money to stay at home right now. Like, let him.
And let me also just say, I mean, I haven't seen that argument being made on Twitter. I'm mainly seeing like the Estoril manager, who I like a lot too, but
I like him, but I feel like
Rui Borges right now is doing what we want him to do. But more on top of that, I love Mourinho. Do not give Mourinho these keys right now, bro. Can you imagine?
No, I don't want to give him the keys.
We're already sloppy as it is on defense.
I don't want to give him. I don't want to give a manager the keys when things are kind of chaotic.
Exactly. Imagine Mourinho right now with St. Juste.
Oh,
he's getting whipped in the streets, like
public beheading, public executions are back on the menu.
Yeah. The only.
I'm with you, Danny. Yeah. I'm with you on the Rui Borges. I think wait and see, unless the wheels completely fall off, which Champions League might do a bit of that. Unless the wheels fall off.
Let them fall off.
But unless the wheels fall off across the board, like in every competition right away, I think you have to give him time. Like, he's done nothing wrong, really, other than I could argue I don't like that he started Fresneda all this time.
This
That's
year
my
as
only
well,
beef with
we
them.
have a lot of depth in every position.
Yeah,
we've got
exactly.
2 strikers who are ready. We've got maybe not Juste, but we've got centre backs that are ready to come in.
Yeah.
Full backs, we've got depth. Midfield, maybe that's the one argument maybe we don't have, but we have Jose Moyes, we have the Bast who can play there. Braganza should be back, I think, in like January, February, maybe.
We'll see.
So, and even, wingers again, maybe that's the argument. Like I said, is Nuno Santos going to be there?
Pot has also done a job in midfield too, but under Amorim, he can still do a job today, right? So
yeah.
If you needed him, you absolutely could.
Yeah.
And it's good depth as well. Especially I think the defense, we've got really good depth and the striker position.
And
as
again,
well.
He's been undefeated in the league for 27 games or something like that, right, Sam?
Yeah.
This is his first losses against Porto.
He took over, yeah.
If I recall correctly, I think like the last time we've done something similar was the year we won the league, where Amorim lost it in like the 30th game to Benfica.
It was like the second last game against
Benfica.
we were when they had already clinched.
But what I'm saying is like it's still the same sort of feat. Like this isn't nothing to be like scoffed at. Like this is maybe we drew more games under Borges, but it's been an entirely different like reality. Amorim has come into like zero expectations and delivered something incredible. Rui Borges has come in with like the expectations all the way up here, and he's delivered up to this point. And like it's not like we put in I know you're saying this is a horrible performance, and I feel you, but this is maybe a horrible performance compared to like where we expect to be.
Yeah.
Under like this. You under like this 2 years ago or 3 years ago or the year we came in fourth. This isn't a horrible performance. This is like a moral victory. It's now
like wow, we didn't get absolutely embarrassed this game. Let's go.
It's a fair note now because one, it's Porto that Porto might only get better from here too. To be fair, there's that possibility they're starting to gel.
Yeah.
But it's also a bitter note because of everything coming around the club too. Because if we had a better transfer window, we might be in a better mood today. If St. Juste isn't coming out on social medias, we might have a better mood today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, we'll see. Rui Borges now has to steady the ship. He steadies the ship.
Yeah.
We get some Champions League wins because it's also going to be a tough group.
Tough group, brother.
Tough group, tough fixtures.
We got nothing but killers in our draw. What do you mean?
We start off against the Kazakhstanis, so we'll see.
And it's at home. We don't have to go all the way across the
So
the longest trip in the Champions League history from Lisbon.
Champions League history so far. Because someone's going to beat that eventually.
That's true, man. I can't wait for China to get a team in the Champions League.
I can't wait for when I can't wait for when Santa Clara makes Conference League again and they have to play Kairat Almaty.
When Russia gets reinstated,
we're getting an away day.
Easternmost fucking Russian team gets
to the
Champions League. I
can't wait,
I don't know, bro.
Who's the most Eastern Russian Premier League team or Super League team?
I'm thinking of I'm thinking Siberia, but that might even still be a little too west, bro. I need like
Krasnodar or something. I don't know,
more, bro.
Yeah,
much more east than that. But yeah.
What's did you name? Is it the team that Eto used to play for that one time? The yellow team?
Oh, Anzi Machalka or whatever.
I think they also border China, if I'm not mistaken.
I think they folded, so they don't exist anymore.
I'll let you know, and I'll let you know who the most Eastern or Western team is. In 1 second, right? Eastern.
I'm thinking Eastern because Asia is the
west.
East, right?
West of the long ways.
The
long way west. Dinamo Machalka or Ruben Kazan. No, actually, there's a team called
Ruben Kazan though.
There's a team called Krylia Sovetov Samara that is pretty far east too. That's just a little more. Rostov Sochi.
Kairat.
Kairat's not in there right now.
All right, fair enough. Anyways,
I'm not looking at
Champions League
fixtures.
And you say you don't learn anything listening to our podcast. Look at that, man.
Brother, I've learned more.
Back to Richard.
I learned more about the world and geography playing FIFA than I ever did in school. I'd be like,
I know flags really well, right?
Flags
People think it's my autism.
Flags.
It's not my autism. It's my love for football.
I'm not diagnosed, but there's definitely
is my autism. You know what I mean?
Look,
It's
I'm
not my
not.
love for flags.
Look, I'm not diagnosed, but like, there's probably something up with me. Like, I'm just saying.
I don't know if it was the same for you guys, but when we were taking geography in like our high school, secondary school, I was like, I'll take that because I know flags, know capital cities. And I got in there, they were like talking about rivers and mountains.
You're like, what is this?
Rocks.
I'll do you one better. You're talking about grade 2. My first year at university, I took a geography class as my elective because I had to take like 4 or 5 electives.
Just take 2 like non-related to like what you're doing, majoring in.
I took astronomy, which was like an incredible class to take. Everybody was taking that one, to be fair. And I took a geography class. I was pissed. We're talking about fucking rocks and shit like that.
Mountain formations.
Yeah, bro. The tectonic plates. Remember the tectonic plates. What?
Like, what?
Let me know the fucking. I'll tell you the capital cities of South Africa. Did you know South Africa has 3 capital cities? Exactly.
Yeah.
That's cheap.
You know the capital city of Brazil isn't Rio de Janeiro? Yeah, crazy. I know. You're sitting there like, give me some flags. Where are we doing? Like, come on.
Yeah. But anyway, on that tangent, this is our Champions League group. So it's Kairat Almaty, as mentioned earlier, then Napoli away, Marseille at home, Juventus away, Club Brugge at home, Bayern Munich away, if you know the history there.
PTSD.
Not looking forward to that. The champions of last year, Paris Saint-Germain at home and Athletic Club away. What do you guys think of this? Are we getting knocked out in the group stage? Are we making it to the big 24, or are we finishing top 8? Richard, what do you think?
I really wish we could just drop down to Europa League. That's not a thing anymore.
Conference right now looks good.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know that we even get 10 points out of this pool. I'll be shocked if we get double-digit points.
10 points might be enough, to be fair.
What was it last year? I think it was
10 or
12 points was what the last place team needed.
Fair.
Apparently, we've got the 13th easiest Champions League draw, which
I disagree vehemently with that.
We're facing a bunch of champions, by the way.
We're facing the German champions, the Italian champions, the reigning French and Champions League champions. What are you on about?
The Kazakhstani champions, don't forget. Respect.
What do you mean we got the easiest draw? Get out of here. I think we're getting shit stomped. I don't think we're gonna make it to I don't think we even get to the playoff. I'm gonna
be a little more optimistic. I think we'll make the 24.
One of us should
I think we
can.
We have to listen. If we lose the first game, we're cooked. or draw the first game.
Don't even show.
We need to win the first game, and we need to win the first game by a heavy margin.
They need to
in
go.
Case
they need
Bayern
5-0.
decides to slap us up. But
what do you mean in case they decide?
I think we can steal points from Napoli. They've started off well, if I'm not mistaken, but we can steal points from Napoli.
We can steal points off Marseille, although I have PTSD of Marseille games.
I have PTSD from Marseille too, but Marseille, we lost to them a few years ago because of Adan, and I think we're let me not say that. Maybe we're not a better team now. I don't know.
Yeah, that year we finished 4th. I think we're a better team.
Yeah, you're right. We're a better team that year.
Yeah. That year was awful.
That year we didn't change. The year after we didn't change much. We just bought Gyökeres and got better.
Yeah, just the best player this league's ever seen.
We're a better team than Marseille. Marseille has also had a million incomings this year, and that's never good. So,
surprised Mateus Reis didn't join the bunch.
Didn't join the criminal syndicate of Olympique Marseille.
Yeah, so we can take some points from Marseille. Hopefully, get a win. We can beat and take points from Juve. They're not that great.
Bilbao, you can probably steal a point. You should be able to steal a point off of.
Bilbao is going to probably. I'm more worried about Bilbao than anything else because it's our last game.
PSG and Bayern, and I think Napoli were getting slapped up.
Maybe not Napoli, but yeah, PSG might slap us up because of there's 2 Benfica fans there and a Portista, so they both might slap us. All 3 of them might slap us up.
Maybe Nuno Mendes will do us a favor though.
Maybe, but he might be injured. He's usually injured around that time too, so we'll see.
True.
Actually, hopefully he is injured. That kid is amazing.
Yeah, Bayern is absolutely. That is the safest bet you could put down is peppering us with
see.
5 or 6 goals.
Bro,
I think
we beat Man City last year. Did you expect us to beat Man City when the draw happened?
Yeah, exactly.
I was we can maybe nick a tie off of them, but I didn't think we were beating them 4-1.
Bayern's good, but they're not like the Bayern of old. You know what I mean?
Did you expect the Arsenal in the semi-final? The round of 16, round of 32?
Yeah, I did actually.
16,
I called that one.
Yeah, I did too. But it's mainly my hate of Arsenal.
That one, actually.
So yeah, I mean, we can make the 24th spot in and around there, of course, right? It's going to be tough, but it's the Champions League, it's never easy, especially in this format. But
yeah, I mean, you can see where I voted on this poll. I voted eliminated in the groups. I think it's such a tough draw, but I don't think it's it's us that's the issue here. If that makes sense, I don't think it's because we're bad. I think it's just because the level of teams, Bayern Munich, the champions of Germany, the champions of France, and the Champions League winners last year, Paris Saint-Germain. Napoli, did they win the league last year? Or
Napoli won the league, yeah. They're the reigning Italian champions.
So 3 league champions in one draw. Let's go with Bilbao, good team. Marseille, tough to beat. Who else? I assume we're going to get the win against the team from Kazakhstan, but you never know. It's their first competition.
They're league champions. Who knows?
And they did go all the way with Celtic, and Celtic aren't like a shit team at all.
They're not pushovers. They're a decent team.
So they took them all the way to penalties. So
Juventus, I know they're not as good as they used to be, but they still have that European pedigree. I still think they're the favourites.
I agree.
You said what was the magic number, Richard? 11 points we needed, or 10 points we got last year?
I think it was 12 points was needed last year. It was the lowest point total. It was 11 or 12, I think.
Do you see us beating 3 teams at minimum 3 teams?
I don't.
I see us minimum
get a draw somewhere too. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't know, man. I just don't know. What about you, Richard?
I think we maybe win
11.
1 or 2.
11
I think we finished with 10. Was it 11? Did you look at that up?
Yeah, 11. Club Bruges was the last ones to make it with 11 points, and then it was.
We had 12.
Yours truly also in 11th.
So what's that?
Okay.
3 wins, 3 draws, right?
That was 3 wins, and I think 2 draws.
We did 3 wins, 2 draws. Yeah, 3 losses.
And 3 losses, yeah. Although,
so if we're counting our losses as Napoli, PSG, and Bayern, if we can steal a draw from Juve and who else is tough in there? Juve
Marseille,
Atletico, Napoli, Juventus.
Juve. Yeah, so I mean, it's possible we can maybe beat Kariat, Bilbao, and Marseille.
Kiria have 2 sporting fans, I think, or was it one sporting fan and one?
They have 2 Portuguese guys at least, yeah.
And they have David Luiz.
That's
that Cypriot team. Yeah. Sorry, that's Cypriot team.
They also this Kazakhstani team. They have a 17-year-old wonder kid though. I'm curious to see him play.
Yeah,
he's a baller. I heard of them. I've heard about him on their before Celtic. They played. I forget who. And
I think it was Red Star Belgrade or somebody.
Might have been. That sounds about familiar. So, we'll see. Maybe he can. Maybe he flies over and he stays.
Yeah.
Is he a winger? We need one of those.
We need one of them.
He is. I think he's either a winger or a 10. I know he's or he's a striker because he's number 9.
Well, we don't need more of those. No offense. We have a lot of those.
But he's little, so I can see him from the little bits I've seen of him. He can maybe be a winger. So, hold on.
Yeah. I think we get
2 hour.
I think at best we get 10 points, maybe 11, depending. But I think we got slapped up at least 2 games minimum.
Are we seeing? Was it 11-1, 11-2 again?
Well, it was 7-1. It was 11. It was 12-1 over aggregate, which is crazy because if you go back and watch that tie, they were tied at the end of the first half of the first game at the Alvalade, and Sporting had played well. And they just let it fall apart in the second half. I don't know what. I remember watching that game so vividly, and it just fell apart so quick in the second half. I'm like, what the hell happened? This team was good for a half of football.
I'm lucky. I didn't watch that game. I don't know where I was.
I envy you. I envy you for not having watched that game. It was just me, my dad, and my grandfather huddled around our old desktop, our old Microsoft XP, Windows XP computer, trying to stream the game, and it was just heartbreaking.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see. So I think that kicks off probably the week we're back. So it'll be
18th, I think, is their first game.
Yeah, and I think the international break finishes on the 14th, 13th, something like that.
Yeah, it's like a week and
I think we have a league game and then we have Champions League. So it's next weekend.
We have Family Cow, and then it's then it's into Europe.
Yeah, but I think that's all we have for today. Unless you guys have got anything else you want to add.
I got nothing.
We've talked enough.
We've talked enough. We've talked a lot. This has been a long one.
Yeah, it's our first live podcast on Twitch, at least. I know you guys did the
live stream, but yeah.
So shout out to anyone watching us on Twitch. Yeah. But before we go, make sure you follow Danny there. You can follow Richard there. You can follow myself there. And don't forget Chris as well. You can follow him there. But most importantly, make sure you follow us on all things Alvalade on all social media and podcast platforms. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in about 2 weeks' time. And peace.